Hello, this is part of my podcast, Live Laugh Stuck. We are playing through Friendsim because Moosie and I are reading through Homestuck. I have read Homestuck. This is Moosie's first time reading Homestuck. We've actually just finally gotten back into Homestuck again because we were doing the Gigapause. The Gigapause is now over. The first episode post Gigapause released today, unless you're watching this in the future. In that case, it was not released today, but maybe another one was. I don't know. Uh, but we're doing volume 13, which is Boldir and Stelza, and today I have Moosie, which would be wild if I didn't have Moosie. Say hello, Moosie.
Hello, Moosie.
Moosie is instrumental to this, because that's the whole point, is showing Moosie Homestuck stuff. So, and then we also have Rainy, who is going to play Boldir.
Hello, Moosie.
Hello, Moosie.
And then we have Dami, my wonderful editor, who is gonna play our Dada, who appears for like 2 seconds.
Hello, Moosie.
Now that we've all gone through the ritual of greeting Moosie, let's begin. I have to scroll. I'm just gonna have to keep scrolling more and more.
Also, Jax, spoilers. Do you know how excited I was when I was playing this volume and our Dada just randomly showed up? You
I don't
can't
know.
take that experience away from everybody else who would absolutely experience it the same way I did.
Yeah, it's not like Imspar completely forgot our Dada's name in a previous volume when just kind of mentioning other trolls they've met.
What?
So yeah. I mean, I feel like you being on is almost a spoiler.
It's true.
I mean, you played other roles, but it's just like, I mean, like your whole profile picture right now is Juggalo Ardata Clown Nose.
Just in your server.
Just in my server. That's right. You have it different elsewhere. It's just been your profile picture for so long before you switched it that yeah.
It is. It's an old one, but it's always
Oldie
gonna
but
come back.
goodie. Yes. Okay. Blah blah blah. Friendship. Blah. That's so funny.
Look at that
Excited.
little hat. That big hat on that little dude.
Yes.
On the baby.
On the baby. On the tiny little guy. You just aren't feeling it today. You're getting more and more of these gray nights recently. Nights where the call of the street, that... I don't know why I cannot read 2 seconds ahead of what I'm reading. That infinite ramble for companionship just sounds exhausting and meaningless. You had days like this back on Earth too, when getting out of bed just didn't seem worth it. The sun is just beginning to slip under the horizon, and usually this would be the sign for you to rise and shine, or rise and dark. But all you've managed to do so far this evening is make yourself some coffee. You recently mentioned to Dagora that you drink instant, and he was so disgusted that he gave you a coffee machine. Fucking shout out Oran High School Host Club. Fucking rich people. He claimed it was an old one he doesn't use anymore, but it still had the price tag on it. He's so cute. I'm still like devastated by the last volume where he like cut off our friendship because he was so betrayed. Oh my god.
Also, are we depressed? Are we
Oh, we're depressed. Like, if you are having trouble getting out of bed repeatedly, off and on, like...
Yeah.
I mean, you're depressed, my guy. Like... On the table sits a palm husk. Since a palm husk Conal had taken off a dead kid, especially for you, and cradled in your hand is a mug Skyla sent. It looks like she painted it herself. There's a white blob on one side that you think is supposed to be Lady. You're even wearing the hoodie Mallet gave you to cut the evening chill. Here you are, all wrapped up in the warm embraces of your friend's goodwill, safe and sound, but deep inside you festers something. A gnawing existential dissatisfaction, that classic angst the philosophers wrote about. Your palm husk chimes, and you pick it up lazily. What, another rando trying to slide into your DMs? Sorry, folks, you just don't have time for that anymore. You are a friendship connoisseur, a sommelier,
Sommelier?
Sommelier.
you know, You're a wine taster.
snober.
You're a wine snob of the
Wine
rarest
snob.
amicable vintages. I mean, didn't they do a test where they gave a bunch of like those wine testers like cheap and expensive wines, and they weren't able to tell the difference?
I'm not sure, but it sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
I
it did
felt
say
it.
it. Yeah. You unlock the screen to find a message.
Psst. I'm not certain that this line is secure. Actually, I'm positive that it isn't. But I am risking contact because it is imperative that we speak. I'm sending you rendezvous coordinates. If you wouldn't mind coming along any time after the sun has set. I realize that this is unorthodox, but please believe me when I tell you that this is not a trick or a trap. I have important information regarding your place on Alternia.
You attempt to reply to the message, but there isn't a cursor or anywhere to input text. In fact, there doesn't even appear to be a messenger app on your phone. It's just a random text box floating in the void. Sorry, I need some chapstick.
Chapstick time.
Chapstick. I don't know. I think it'd be funny if it was like a Mystic Messenger app that just appeared on your phone. Well, Mystic
Oh my
Messenger
god.
picked up someone else's phone, I think, but still. You barely have a chance to read it all the way through before it vanishes and Google Maps opens with an address already programmed in. It's close enough to walk to, which is great because using your stolen scuttle buggy still makes you a little nervous. You swallow the rest of your coffee and grab your shoes. Your GPS leads you to a shop you recognize. It's the cafe from your weird sort of date with Lanera. It's not too crowded at this time of day. The usual studying crowd doesn't appear to be here. A couple trolls are sitting around sharing pots of tea. This is very convenient because now the artists don't have to draw a different cafe background.
Fucking idiot! I explicitly stated I wanted Essence of Dayglow, not whatever this garbage is.
Oh, you know this person. It really has been a minute, hasn't it? Ardata stands in front of the counter, shouting at the cash register. Whatever automated system runs the shop has apparently gotten her order wrong.
What are you looking at, This is absolutely none of your... Oh. It's you.
Ardata swiftly covers up her surprise, examining a sharp, perfectly shaped nail.
You look... different.
Hot, even? Better?
Let's not exaggerate. I simply meant you looked less like toxic waste and more like run-of-the-mill grain grinder garbage.
You tell Ardata that it's good to see her too. Man, this really takes you back. You'd been so simple back then, so unevolved. You were laser-faced on a single desire, friendship. Now, well, you still like friends, you really do. But you also have, like, a car and a sweatshirt with somebody's sign on it. You've moved up in the world.
Fascinating.
Oh, by the way, is she the one who summoned you here?
Summoned? You? You must be joking. I haven't spared a single solitary thought for you since I haven't spared a single solitary thought for you since you dragged your wretched carcass out of my hive.
Absently, you push your hand into the pocket of your hoodie. Something crinkles between your fingers, and you pull out a folded piece of notebook paper. Okay, this definitely hadn't been in there when you'd left your hive. You passed a couple people in the street, but you definitely don't remember any of them getting close enough to slip something in your pocket. Huh. It only says 2 words. Out back. Oh man, should you go?
It's always hard to make these decisions. No, let's stay with our Dada longer.
Yeah.
A good plan.
Okay, listen, you've done some pretty dumb stuff since you crash landed here. For instance, following the woman standing in front of you into her basement. But not this time. Nice try, Catfisher.
important correspondence.
Nah, you crumple up the page in your hand. Nothing that can't wait.
Well, this is suspicious.
Good. Impeccable timing. Just what I was hoping you would say.
I did initially read that as impeccable timing.
Friend blocked?
Yeah.
Dang.
Boldir gets cucked. Gets
Oh,
franked.
Don't even get to meet them.
I always forget about this image of our Dada. It's very good.
It's so cute.
Cutie.
Look at her. At least your ribs and legs aren't broken, so it shouldn't be that bad carrying it.
And this is true.
Okay, let's go. Fire Dada. Let's be real here. If you were ever going to refuse a suspicious invitation, you would have done it by now. You'd have drawn the line at vehicle theft or murder church or anime club. You can't resist a social engagement. Your tragic flaw.
Okay, I guess. Enjoy yourself.
You head back through a beaded curtain, half expecting an alarm to ring. How do they keep people from just robbing stores here? Are there, lasers and shit? You emerge into a tidy little back garden. None of the plants here are ones you recognize from Earth, but it's still nice. Also, Dummy, let me know when you need to bounce. I think that's all of our Dada's lines, right?
Stick around for a bit. I'll pipe up if I need to leave. But
Cool. You cross a bridge over a slow-flowing stream and find yourself looking down a path that blooms into a tight, dizzying spiral. Maybe you're supposed to walk across it and ponder your place in the universe. Your contemplation would be inevitably cut off before it hits its climax because someone is sitting at the center of the spiral. She is a small, compact shape with her hair cut short and choppy around her chin, wearing a shapeless white dress, really more of a robe.
I've been waiting for you. Thanks for coming.
She speaks in a stage whisper, low and full of air, but still loud enough to hear across the path. You pick your way carefully across the spiral, making sure not to mess any of it up, treading only inside the lines. The girl gives you a small, secretive smile.
My name's Boldir.
You ask her if this is her garden. Did she live here? It's nice, but it's not exactly out of the elements. Actually, it looks like there's some storm clouds rolling in. You're probably going to get rain soon.
Oh, yeah. My Recupera-kun is over there under that tree.
She smiles again, and you can't tell if she's messing around. In fact, she's entirely unreadable, like her face is a totally reflective surface and all you're seeing is the cloudy sky in the garden. You can't tell how she feels about you at all.
Would you like to sit down?
Inside the circle, or... She looks around like she is only just realizing she's at the center of a complicated geometric pattern.
It doesn't matter. I only wanted to see if you'd follow the path or trample through it.
Damn. Deep shit.
But you didn't either. You forged your own way while taking care to preserve that which has come before.
You ask her what that means.
Maybe nothing. I'm not sure.
The wind tosses her hair and the clouds chase each other across the sky. If the rain comes, it will come soon. Boldir continues to look at you as you shift awkwardly and shiver, pushing your hands into your hoodie. This is different than any other friend meetup you've had, even with the others who purposely sought you out. There is a serenity to Boldir that all the rest lack. Or maybe that's just the zen as fuck garden getting to you. You try to remember what Boldir said to you in the message that she somehow managed to make appear on your phone and then immediately self-immolate. That she has some information for you about your place in Alternia or some shit like that.
Did I say that? I guess I did.
If you're able to whisper a little bit louder, it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
too
yeah,
bad.
sorry.
All good. I'm just letting you know.
Of course. I just. mm, I suppose I wanted a chance to talk to you a bit before the end. I was starting to feel a little. Jealous, maybe?
Her horns remind me of something, but I cannot think of what.
I'm not sure either.
Right. You guess everybody has been going on about the funny dumb alien robot who's been prowling around the countryside.
No, that's not it. Though, I'm sure you're very funny. I just wanted a chance to talk to you. Someone who is so adrift in the swell of fate and the whims of the paradox.
Paradox? You don't know anything about paradoxes. Well, you know what they are, you just don't see why they're relevant.
They aren't. Paradoxes aren't relevant by their very nature. It's the essence of that nature that makes them so integral to the story.
You shake your head. You're not built for this cosmic stuff. You're just an orphan from Earth with quick fingers for spaceships and apparently vehicles. Boldir gives you another sly smile.
Oh? Quick fingers.
You blush.
No.
You hadn't meant that as a dirty joke or anything. Also, your fingers are nowhere near as quick as hers. She somehow got a piece of paper in your pocket while you were standing in a cafe and she was back here. That's like reverse pickpocketing through actual projection. I thought she was going to hover for a second. Just Boldir laughs. She stands up and moves across the garden path, following the spiral so swiftly and efficiently that she might as well be floating. She drifts over to one of the trees, pulling a coat down from where it's slung over a branch. Now I look less like a cult member and more like a detective.
Yeah.
It covers her from chin to ankles, coming together to form an olive green symbol on her chest that looks like a question mark without the dot. A broad-brimmed hat finishes out the ensemble.
Well, I can't teach you astral projection. But pickpocketing is actually quite simple.
Crime time.
Crime time!
Would you care to learn? Ideally, we'd need a third person to act as the mark, but I think we can make it work.
Ardata, come back.
Ardata, come here!
I'm sure that will cause no problems.
Can you even imagine?
Hey Ardata, can you be our mark? Hey Ardata, just hang out here for like a little bit, right? It's fine. Don't worry about it. More
Don't
crime, huh?
Wind up.
Save.
Yes, more crimes.
More crimes. I guess we did all just say crime time, you know?
Crime time!
This whole mess started with the theft of a spaceship, and if Boldir is right about all that fate horseshit, then that was supposed to happen, so maybe you'll lean into it.
Perfect. The first and most important aspect of the art of pickpocketing is staying unobtrusive.
You think about mentioning that walking around in a great big coat and floppy hat is not the most unobtrusive thing you've ever seen, but you aren't the expert here. Also, you're an alien, so you don't really have room to talk. Maybe you should get a big coat like that yourself. You just love ripping looks off all your friends. Usually quite literally. Boldir takes you through the basics of criminal sleight of hand, and on the whole, you aren't too bad. In fact, you think you might have a future in it if you weren't already on the career path of professional friendshipper. That sounds like you're shipping your friends, not becoming friends. Porque no las dos, you know? You don't know what this has to do with her learning about you or teaching you your place in Alternia, but it's fun, and Boldir is a good teacher. If there's one thing this journey has taught you, it's that when something isn't actively painful or destructive, just write it out. You don't think you'll be going around pickpocketing many trolls. Enough of them already want to kill you. But it's good to have this skill on reserve if you ever need cash fast and don't feel like hitting up any of your rich friends. You wonder if Boldir uses
steal.
it. Yeah, just steal.
Don't borrow, just steal.
Just steal. Listen, it's kind of cringe to ask your friends for money, so just steal it.
Don't ask for a ride to
Fine.
the airport, just steal a car.
Oh my god, that discourse, yeah. You wonder if Boldir uses it for anything besides passing notes.
My sources tell me that you've been on Alternia for almost 3 paragrees now.
I feel like I asked this last time, but is paragrees like basically literal months, or is it more than that?
It's unclear. You're supposed to interpret it as the Alternian equivalent of a month in terms of rough time frame, but since the years are longer, it's never specified.
Perigree is the point in the orbit of a moon or satellite when it is closest to Earth.
To Earth.
I don't know when this planet's close to Earth.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's tied to the lunar cycle, so it's about a month.
well, there's 2 moons.
I was about to ask if there was 2 moons because I couldn't remember for a hot moment.
Yeah. Because there's
Who
it's a pink
knows?
and a green. Yeah.
Pink.
It's a pink week
I
versus
do-
a
I-
green week.
I do actually need to go ahead and head out. This has been really fun, though.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Thanks for coming on for our data.
Of course. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now let's stop and do calculations.
right. Because like I also get like, God, I now have like the sweeps down more, but there's a while that I thought like a sweep was closer to 2 years than 3, and that got a lot of things confused because it's God. That's the thing about Homestuck is there's like a pretense that there's some solid world building, but
And then it
it's
gets thrown
like
out the window.
yeah, I mean it's more like the cardboard cutout of a tree you have in a play. Sure, from a distance it can look like a real enough tree, but then there's a stiff breeze and it's all gone.
Oh, then it just thunk.
I say that lovingly.
There's a JavaScript Alternian solar sweeps to Earth human years converter.
That of course there is.
One sweep is 2.17 human years. Or
No.
1 year is 0.46 sweeps.
God, right. I got it backwards again. Because wait. I hate this because
I'm bad at converting things anyway.
no, I just get it confused because like okay, yeah, because the trolls are 6 sweeps. So yeah, so it would be closer to 2 years. I got it backwards. I used to think it was closer to 3 years, and that's why I got confused. And then I just said it out loud, and I just confused myself some more. I've read Homestuck 4 times.
A perigee is the point in the satellite's orbit in which it is closest to the body around which it orbits. On Alternia, points at which both the green and pink moons are at their closest to Alternia at once are referred to as the bilunar perigrees.
That has got to be made up. I don't think that is anywhere in
That's just
Homestuck or Hiveswap.
Wiki.
Yeah.
It's in some wiki.
Like it's in the MS Paint wiki.
The fandom wiki.
Oh, okay.
The fandom.com wiki.
Yeah, I don't think the main wiki is fandom.com. I don't know. Fandom.com kind of took over everything, so it's hard to say. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I guess it just makes more sense for Imspar to have been here for 3 months than like any other period of time. Like 3 weeks is way too short. 3 seasons is way too long.
3
I don't know.
months just works.
Yeah. Big tangent. Let's get back to it.
We'll just have a podcast where we discuss the minutia of like measurements, systems of measurements in Homestuck.
That would get more followers than this current one does. I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
Listen to us try to math.
Yeah, no, I could get I could just reach into the fandom and pluck out a new guest for each episode willing to discuss like their calculations of how various things in Homestuck work. Like Homestuck got them freaks and I love it. You have no idea how long a pedigree is, but what the hell? Sure.
Impressive. No wonder.
She trails off thoughtfully and shakes her head. You wish she would say something with substance to it instead of just vague nonsense. Not shaking the cult member accusations. But at least she isn't threatening you with violence or trying to stick wires into you, so you're counting this interaction successful so far. I mean, whose fault is it that Malik tried to stick wires into you? For real, for real.
For real, for real.
Also, you feel weirdly chilled out with Boldir. Sure, you want to be friends, but there's none of that stomach-churning, spine-bending desperation to make sure she likes you at whatever the cost. You feel more awake than you have in weeks. Man, you've got to learn to pickpocket in a garden behind a cafe more often if this is what it does to your stress levels. Also, it is weird that, like, her home, like, because she has the recruit raccoon here, is just, like, the back door of a cafe. That's extremely funny.
I mean, hey, free drinks. Free, quote unquote.
Oh, yeah.
Want to get something to eat? Or maybe just coffee? Because that's what they serve here.
They had pastries in there too, right?
Yeah? Question mark?
Have
Sure.
to rewind.
Yeah. You could use another caffeinated beverage on top of the other caffeinated beverage you had earlier. Why not? You'll sleep when you're dead. And then Imspar has a heart attack and dies.
If only.
Jesus Christ. Existential crisis of, like, not being able to sleep when you're dead, of, like, you're dead and you're still awake and it never ends. Because, like, especially with the
Infinite
implication...
awake.
Yeah, especially with the implication that there is no rest, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna say I did like a little bit of reading because I was curious, and that's why I know that Boldir kind of does the stage whisper.
Yeah.
Apparently, in one of the other Homestuck games, she can kind of see through like the fourth wall.
Oh,
It's
you're doing
implied.
spoilers now.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because Hiveswap 2 is what we're going to be playing after this, and that's the only other Homestuck game.
Sorry.
All good. Unless it's talking about a fan game. Because I don't
I think it might have. I don't know. I think it was on the fandom thing.
Yeah.
Like said, that one tends to eat all the other search options.
Yeah, well, because there is, like, an Imspar, oh my god, MS Paint wiki that is, like, 90% reliable. Like, it is actually, like, maintained by, like, good fans and stuff. I just don't know if that is on fandom or if that is a separate wiki that is not as good. I don't know. But yes, because we haven't played Hiveswap 2 because Friendsim is was kind of like, Domi's explained it better, and I know I'm gonna get off of here, and if she listens to it, she's gonna be like, actually, but so this was kind of like oh god, you guys are waiting a long time for Hiveswap 2. Let's put this together, and you can get to know the trolls that are gonna be in Hiveswap 2, type shit.
Oh,
So
wow.
we haven't done Hiveswap 2 yet, so we can get to know all the trolls. And also because Friendsim is good anyway.
I'm sorry, I didn't think that it'd be a spoiler.
No, that's fine. Like, it's fine. I might be being too precious about spoilers, but I don't know. I'm kind of just more hyper aware of spoilers and what are considered spoilers than most people. Oh, good though. I've definitely accidentally spoiled some stuff from Moosie. It's hard.
I don't remember anything.
And that's what's great, especially after taking a very long break. Who knows? Like, this recording that we're going to be doing next is going to be so hard for me because there are so many thoughts that I have about what has transpired in this last section that I read and you're about to read that are just like, this is stuff I can't talk about until maybe not until we're done reading Homestuck and I can cover everything a bit more, or maybe not even until we get to some other stuff for some discussions I have. So
Well,
yeah.
I was gonna say, and let's also be honest here, it's Homestuck. The most out of pocket thing you could throw at the wall has the slightest potential of actually sticking.
It's true. Anyway, there are pastries in here. There is food. You can have food. It's fine.
We can have a nibble.
Yes. You follow her out of the garden back into the cafe. God damn it, Ardana's back.
God damn it.
Man, I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe Dummy can dub over, but I can try to read it. I don't
I am
know how to
not
do
putting
the
that
effect.
much effort into these to dub over. If I
Yeah.
was going to do that, I would simply actually sit down and make that Friendsim dub that started to happen and then crash and burn because I could do
Yeah.
it better. God damn it. Anyway, yeah, go for
I'll
Ardana.
try.
Have fun.
Who is this now? Yet another friend?
Oh, Ardana, you're still here.
Of course I am, fool. You were back there for about 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Wow, it felt like way longer than that. Guess you underestimated the power of a good training montage. I mean, was she just standing here yelling at the cashier for 10 minutes? That'd be funny.
Possibly.
Or the cash register, I guess, not even a cashier. You introduce Ardana to Boldir with the cheerful earnestness of someone who has forgotten the systematic classism of the planet on which they currently reside. Ardana stops you with an aristocratic sneer.
Stop. Before I have to stop you myself. I have absolutely no desire to mix with those so low on the social ladder. What in the world could she have to offer me?
You shrug. You're not sure. Maybe friendship?
Needed.
Oh, you came back. I'm so sorry. We already went through the lines.
No, it's okay.
Okay. I thought you were already going to be in call with your other thing.
I can be quick.
Okay.
It's not starting just yet. They were getting together early.
Okay, there's a few lines left. Regardless, you feel bad for exposing your newest friend to the vaguely nonsensical abuses of your oldest. You turn back to Boldir to apologize and find her gazing coolly at Ardana like she could do it all night. There is none of the fear or reverence or false obedience you've seen other lowbloods displayed to lose. Instead, Boldir looks at Ardana like she's a bug. Worse, a pebble that she would just love to kick out of the way.
Nice to meet you in person, Miss Carmia. I hear your GrubTube channel has been losing subscribers recently. I wonder why that is.
Blue hits Ardana's cheeks in an angry flush.
I'm currently on hiatus. The old garbage was getting tired. I have so many imitators that my own content is starting to seem derivative.
She gives one of her maniacal laughs, but it's a little less robust than usual. Man, the wild tundra of internet fame really is a stark and arid battleground.
In fact, I have a new feature in the works as we speak.
She holds up the little vial she'd been haggling with the cash register over earlier.
Poison. I think the best and most expedient process would be to just dose my featured guest's food and then hide the antidote somewhere in my hive. Unless you have another idea.
She smiles, sly and mean. Boldir smiles back, just as vicious. Ooh, I do love the face.
Grr. Great. Have fun with that.
While Boldir talks, her eyes start flicking from you to Ardana and then down. Again and again. You, Ardana, and down. It takes a couple of go-arounds before you realize that what she's telling you. She keeps looking down to your hands, which are stuck in your hoodie pocket, exactly where you found the note Baldur slipped you. Ardata is carrying a bag that looks expensive and extremely goth, and you can see where the vial of poison is sticking out. Oh man, you know what you have to do. When a group comes into the shop and pushes past the three of you, you move in on Ardata and slip a hand into her bag, palming the smooth, cold vial. She gives you a weird look, like, why are you suddenly all up on me, peon? But she doesn't notice the theft.
I suppose I'll be going now. And if I were you, I'd be more mindful of who I choose to associate myself with in the future.
You say bye to her, feeling the tiniest bit guilty, but she's planning to use this poison to do murder theater in her prison basement, so you don't feel that bad.
Take care now.
Okay, now she's for real gone. Thank you, Tommy.
No problem.
Have fun.
Will do.
Those were so many sick birds. It's like, I hear your YouTube's losing subscribers.
Just absolutely burn.
Though I do kind of love the idea of poisoning someone's food and then hiding the antidote somewhere in the house. Like, and just, I don't know, that'd be a cool like horror game or something. Like escape room with extra stakes. That's not just Saw, you know? Like the Saw escape rooms are a bit much. Like, we get it. Ardata leaves and Boldir takes an inquisitive step closer.
Psst. Show me.
You open your hand to display the spoils, flushed with criminal euphoria. Oh, hell no! You grabbed the wrong fucking vial. This one's blue, not red. You grabbed the antidote, not the poison. God, you honestly thought you were moving past these kinds of cock-ups.
Oh. Damn. Well, at least you have. I feel like there's supposed to be a "the" in there.
Yeah.
What?
It is an old NES game. Have antidote now.
Yeah.
Stop it!
No, she's Russian now.
You have antidote now.
God. Well, at least you have the antidote now. You never know when one of those might come in handy.
I mean, antidotes are often very specific to the poison, right? I mean, I guess if you're being poisoned, having any antidote on hand to try out is better than none. Like, what's it gonna do? Poison you more? I mean, it can, but like, if it's a deadly enough poison, then it's like...
We're not scientists, don't take our advice.
Yeah, like, don't just grab random
Games are
antidotes and then
logical.
chug them when you have food poisoning. That's not a good idea.
Don't pull a Skyrim. Don't eat all of the ingredients. You'll just die.
You'll just
I saw
die.
that video too.
Oh, man. She sways forward and clutches at her neck. For one confused second, you think she's doing an impression of someone who might need an antidote. Then she falls to her knees. You dart forward and catch her before she can totally eat it. She's heavier than she looks. Compact muscle and a coat full of an ungodly number of weapons. She has like 4 guns in here. What the hell? Your arms are full, so you can only watch helpless as a troll in a hood that covers their face and their horns books it out the door. You shout that some fucker just stabbed your friend, but nobody here is looking at you. It's the same way people on Earth might ignore a mother trying to calm a toddler throwing a tantrum, just turning their eyes away from a distasteful public scene.
Oh, did my mic pick that up? No, it did not. Ow. Damn it.
You put a hand up to Boldir's neck and try to staunch the bleeding, but there isn't any bleeding. Bewildered, you pull apart the lapels of her coat to see a single drop of olive blood trembling above her collarbone. Discoloration spreads in a dark spill over her neck and radiating down her chest. You both say it at the same time.
Poison.
You open your hand to look at the tiny blue vial, then back up to Boldir. Her eyes are glassy, her skin is going blotchy and ashen. There is no reason to believe that Ardata's poison and the poison the assassin used are the same, with the same antidote. Okay, well, at least they address it. It already strains the powers of coincidence that you grab the antidote at all.
You're probably right. But maybe you should try it anyway.
Like, I have played through Friendsim, but I have forgotten so much of what happens that I did accidentally reference what was about to happen. Like, yeah, no shit. Wait a few pages, and they'll talk about it.
I can't feel my legs.
Right. Right. Maybe the mere fact that this is such an unlikely happenstance means it will be the right antidote. Everything you've done so far has had the pull of inevitability to it, especially all of your interactions with Boldir.
Great. Awesome. I'm glad you're realizing your inherent significance to this particular microcosm of causation. Now can you please pour that stuff in my mouth so I can swallow it and possibly not die?
You help Boldir tip her head back and put the vial to her lips. At the last minute, you wonder if it's supposed to be diluted, but Boldir gulps the whole thing down and immediately begins to shake. Smoke billows out of her nostrils and open mouth, and holy shit, what is going on? This doesn't seem like any type of antidote to you. But then the smoke clears and Boldir opens her big yellow eyes. How does she feel?
Alive. Marginally.
She lets you help her to her feet. You immediately pull her into a fierce yet gentle hug. It's wild to undergo someone else's near-death experience. You feel like you know her way better than one montage scene's worth. Another new friend.
Oh, not so tight.
You ease up a little. All the tea sippers are staring at you now. Death apparently isn't interesting, but the possibility of some quadrant-adjacent stuff they are suddenly all about. Sorry, assholes, just you and your new friend sharing a touching post-near-fatal encounter. Nothing to see here. Didn't die! Hell yeah.
That's me every day.
Yeah.
I'm marginally alive.
Now let's not do crime like
yeah.
a dweeb.
Being safe.
You've already got a hell of a rap sheet. Maybe it would be best not to add any new skills that could lead you into temptation.
Fair enough. Would you care to go for a stroll? It's a nice night.
It's a windy, unsettled night, and it looks like rain. You suppose that's nice, depending on your definition. You'd absolutely love to take a stroll. That's your whole vibe recently. Strolling. You follow her out through a little back gate and into the street. I don't want to critique the writing too much, because what the fuck do I know? It's just like the transition between those two things just feels like two separate thoughts. Not to be rude, not to be an asshole.
I forgot the.
Yeah, I mean, and there was another one where it was an, but not followed by a vowel.
Or
So,
a vowel sound.
Yeah, I mean, I get, like, typos happen, and, like, this was not the main game they were working on. This was a quick game to work on and get some money while they were working on the main game everyone was waiting for. So I don't want to, like, put too much on them, but there's just some things that is just like, that didn't feel right. The way those things flowed.
I mostly just don't like it when the text is cut off, because that's very visually obvious.
Yeah, when it gets way down there, that is annoying. That is something that I feel like shouldn't have been a thing. But whatever. You leave the cafe behind and are quickly consumed by the drift of the midnight crowd. Like here's an example. It's just like, so, I mean, like, you can still read it, but it's just like, it keeps making me think that my screen's too small. You brace for the
scroll.
Yeah. You brace for the inevitable pitying, hostile looks you get whenever you go out in public. You should have mentioned that you try to avoid large groups, but strangely no one even glances at you. It's like Boldir exudes a sneaky aura that encompasses both of you. As you walk, you ask her if she really believes in fate, like the two of you are always going to meet and nothing could have happened any differently no matter what you did. Boldir gives you a thoughtful sidelong glance.
Well, that would imply that none of our choices matter, and that causality is inevitable. That randomness is irrelevant, right?
Sure. You scamper to keep up with her, both physically and mentally. For someone who asked you to take a stroll, she sure is booking it down the street.
But that disregards our choices. Fate dictates that all possibilities are, by their very nature, necessities. Or, rather, the choice that you made was the only one you ever could make. I doubt the universe is that simple.
Sorry, I'm listening to a series of podcast episodes about a rationalist cult that recently was in the news for some of their members like killing 6 people. And
Are you
it's
watching
just like,
Behind the Bastards?
yes, I love Behind the Bastards so much. Highly recommend if you want to both learn about like weird cults and like things that have vastly affected our current society, like the creation of the CIA and shit. It's a real great podcast. And then around Christmas they do episodes about like good people, just as a breather.
I didn't know that. That's nice.
Yeah, I don't really listen to them. And there's also another podcast called Cool People Who Did Cool Stuff. That is the antithesis. There we go. Of Behind the Bastards. It's on the same network. But yeah, and they just Moosie, you might be able to explain it better if you listen to it. But like that, they were talking about like an AI that would like always know whatever decision you made based on all the decisions you've made in the past. And that's just reminding me of this. Doesn't sound simple to you, but you hum and nod sagely because you want Boldir to think you're deep.
Instead of asking yourself whether you were meant to meet me and meant to be here, it makes more sense to wonder what the forces are that have conspired to bring it all into being.
Well, that would be exhaustion and ineptitude. Holy, thank you. You don't exactly remember what happened, but you're sure it involved something stupid like falling asleep at the wheel and drifting off into another solar system. It had been a rough 48 hours, you know? A lot of escaping and running and punching and stealing of high-powered vehicles.
Yes, of course. I understand. All in a day's work.
Yeah, Boldir does that shit all the time, don't you know? She tried to teach you what pickpocketing was. She stops you at most intersections so she can take surreptitious glances around the corner before gesturing you forward. Every so often, she will turn the two of you around to double back. You aren't exactly sure why. Maybe she thinks you're being followed, but who would follow you from a cafe?
All sorts.
Oh, Trizza poster back there. I didn't notice that. Or graffiti, maybe. Billboard or graffiti, who's to say?
But don't worry. I know how to shake off a tail.
You cross one of the main thoroughfares, and a big black bird swoops at your heads. You yelp and duck, but when you look around, you see that the bird has landed on Boldir's arm, and she's stroking its back. A black animal in Alternia is wild.
For real.
You brace yourself for it to start talking or some shit like that, because that's what your life is like now, but it just sticks its leg out for Boldir to remove a scrap of paper. It waits patiently for her to read the message, and then scribbles something on the back before attaching it to the crow and throwing it back into the air. Man, that's some Harry Potter-ass shit.
One of my informants wants to rendezvous in meat space. Unusual, but it has been an unusual day.
Unusual couple of months, honestly.
Yes, of course.
I too know what months are.
You've had it much harder than I have. What was I thinking?
Well, you weren't trying to get into a contest of whose life sucks more, but yeah, it's been rough. You appreciate that she can see that.
Of all the plans to be forced to, Alternia is, well, not ideal. Not the worst, but you still have my sympathies. Is there anything at all you like about it?
What? About Alternia? Well, you're kind of digging this whole night as day thing. You're from a diurnal species, but you've always been a bit of a night owl. Also, not to brag, but you've made some seriously cool friends. Like Ardata. You know Ardata? I mean, I know you didn't meet her in this timeline, but like she was in the cafe, so you've probably seen her around. You did seem familiar with her in the other timeline. She's super cool, right? You definitely... She was my first friend, actually.
She's my first friend.
Unless we go by the route in which Demon was the first, but, you know, first out of 2.
Yes.
Oldest friends. Go way back. Sorry.
No, you're fine. The oldest of friends. Yes, I've been following your exploits.
I hear you're friends with Zebra? That's kind of fucked, actually. Like, you know that's kind of fucked? You know what he's about? Because, like, I mean, come on.
Come on, man. Oh my god. My sir. My cat is on my shoulder and he is trying to shove his rear end into my face because he's trying to get comfy. Sir, please. Well, he's trying to like shoulder parrot ride. And so he just keeps thumping his back into my mouth.
I'm glad my cat's never got into that. When I was living with you know, some other people had 2 cats, and both of them like to do that, and it was just like, y'all are not small. Like, you're not as big as Vincent is, but like this ain't working.
No, when he was smaller, he used to, you know, when he was a kitten, he used to sleep like across my throat.
That's
and
so
of course,
cute.
you know, he started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I would just wake up randomly in the middle of the night suffocating because he'd be laying on my face. It's like, sir, please.
Yeah.
But anyway, your friendship acquisition procedures are really quite impressive.
Impressive is one way to put it.
Yeah.
Aw, now you're blushing. You asked Boldir how she knows that much about your exploits because it's only pretty recently that you've had any sort of real social media presence. You suppose she could have have a Gorgle alert like Malik did, but...
Quick, round here.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I was just thinking of, like, I'm pretty sure that this background is used in another route coming up.
Ooh.
Hints for the future. It takes place in a dump.
You know, don't.
Boulder leads you into a deserted lot between 2 buildings. There's nothing here except some broken bottles and a pile of old rubber tires. She leaves you behind the tire pile to keep watch, although she's probably just doing it to get you out of the way, which, fair. Then she heads out into the center of the lot, presumably to wait for her contact. You sit there twiddling your thumbs, trying to suppress the desire to pull out your phone. That doesn't seem very covert ops. You're just starting to get really antsy, jittering your leg and cracking your knuckles and digging a little hole in the dirt with a stick, when you hear something strange beneath the wind. A swish followed by a thunk. Boulder jerks and clutches her neck. You writhe up from your rubber pile, sending tires flying. You look wildly at the surrounding buildings, trying to find out where the projectile came from. You don't see anyone, not even a lone gunman. You run for your new friend, not spending a thought for your own safety. The clouds move overhead like someone has put them on fast forward, the wind rattling the trash on the pavement. By the time you reach Boulder, she has begun to twitch in hard spasms. One look at the blotchy stain spreading across her neck, and there's no doubt. You both say it at the same time. Poison.
Poison.
You fall to your knees beside her. Oh God, what are you supposed to do? You don't know anything about poison or first aid or anything useful. God, why are you such a fucking waste of space? Haha. Call out for, I had said in an episode that, actually me and Dami had said in an episode that waste of space was, Hussey's class spec, and then we found out that that was a fandom thing that people put on Hussey and not something that Hussey said. So, anyway,
Shut
I assume
up.
that's a reference to the fandom class spec in Hussey. You could have been gaining some life skills instead of just loafing around like a complete idiot. You
Stop. Don't. There isn't time. This stuff acts fast.
Boldir takes hard, gasping breaths between each word. Her eyes are going cloudy. She makes a desperate grab for your hands.
Listen.
For the first time, her voice rises above a whisper. Her grip is surprisingly strong. You tell her to save her strength, but she shakes her head so hard her hat falls off.
I'm not important.
You tell her to stop being dramatic. Of course she's important.
I'm not being dramatic. Well, maybe a little, 'cause I'm dying. But still, remember what I said about fate.
Fuck fate. You don't want anything to do with it if this is the kind of shit it's gonna pull on you. So many of your friends have died because of you, because of your incredible inability to
Wait,
the world. Huh?
which of our friends have canonically died, or does this go part of like a different canon?
Yeah. Well, let's see. The world twists and stutters. Your guts are a record, and that record is skipping. For a moment, you're sure that whoever that poison-shooting bastard is shot you too, but then your vision clears and you feel the rain on the back of your neck, the world rolling back to you in waves of color and sound. The dark sky splits open on a fault line of lightning. Boldir's hand goes limp in your own. With shaking fingers, you reach out to touch her motionless cheek. Fuck. Fuck! Not again. Why? An uncontrollable wave of despair washes over you as you look down at the corpse of this girl you barely know. Where are all these feelings coming from? There's honestly too many of them. Why are they... Damn.
So like, yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So shit's getting fucky. why does Inspire say that all their friends have, like a lot of their friends have died? Whenever like the seemingly canon route has them all alive because you made friends with them because those are the good endings.
So we're getting into some weird story.
It's Homestuck.
Manipulation stuff.
It's Homestuck, you know? What is Homestuck without that sort of thing, you know?
It's certainly been a long time, unless there's been signs I just have not noticed at all.
Yeah. Again? Oh, that's right. Oh my god, that starts here. Again? Must I do everything myself? Dun dun dun!
Is
We're getting into it.
The game engine save file a character?
Flowey's actually in this. This was actually, is this pre-Undertale or post-Undertale? I
thought this was post Undertale.
When did Undertale come out?
Undertale came out in about like 2016, I believe.
Oh yeah, this was post-Undertale then.
2016.
Yeah,
2015.
yeah, Toby Fox, guest writer, wrote Flowey into Hiveswap Friendsim. Okay, next time we have Marcy and oh my god, I forgot the baby clown's name.
No wait,
Starts with a K.
We haven't done
We haven't done Stelzias. Jesus Christ, you're so right. I got so caught up in
I'm like, help, I don't know. I can't remember what her name is.
Yeah, you're messing with us.
Yeah, I'm
gaslighting
messing
us.
with I'm gaslighting everyone. I'm pulling a Hussey. Sorry, I really just got caught up in Boldir's ending and just like thinking about that stuff and thinking about what we're reading in Homestuck right now because it feels extremely relevant to where we are in Homestuck right now.
Had to watch the baby die.
I had to watch the baby die. And now we get into Stelza. Look at her.
She's just so happy.
Says
do you wanna
yacht. I don't know.
do you want to do Inspire this time Moosie, and I'll do Stelza?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know why I just really want to do Stelza. I just kind of do. I don't think I've voiced her because like when I was auditioning to the Friendsim dub, I auditioned for Stelzias, obviously, Boldir, Marsty, which is coming up in 2 weeks, and I think a few others. Not Stelza though, but did I have audition for chat? Sorry, go for it.
Okay, so it turns out stealing a car was easily one of your better impulse decisions. You've gotten accustomed to its weird insides by now. The squishiness doesn't much faze you anymore.
I think I would have to deal with the squishy car for a very long time before I got accustomed to it.
Depends if it's like bouncy castle type of squishy or like flubber type of squishy.
Is it moist?
Yeah, I don't want that.
No.
It still feels like the warm stomach of some giant creature, but you actually find it kind of comforting. You can just let yourself get enveloped by the seat while the autopilot does its thing. Getting ferried through the streets of Alternia with your feet up on the dash sure beats endlessly pounding the pavement. Sometimes you even throw Sarava's stream on your phone if you really want to get a chill vibe going. You're surprised that you haven't been caught yet, dastardly carjacker that you are, but maybe you're just a better thief than you always thought. A possible career change to look into when and if you ever get back to Earth.
Was the carjacker getting murdered by a bunch of bees in the bad end route of now I forgot his name.
I don't remember.
The bee boy.
I thought it was one of the good routes.
Me too.
If only Hussey named the characters like Hideo Kojima names characters, it'd just be like Buzz Die Man.
Yeah, well, you'd have to get it to fit into 6 characters each. And also, I'm not sure how many of these characters Hussey named. Like he wrote the routes for Ardata and Demon, but I'm not sure he wrote any of the others.
So, I want to know if there's any other linguistic guide on what is and is not allowed besides the 6 character limit.
I think it's only the 6 characters.
Okay. I mean, I am a enjoyer of linguistic constraints.
Yeah, well,
but, you know.
Homestuck isn't. I mean, Alternia, the Alternian language was originally just Skyrim runes, so...
Yeah, the coffee shop had the Skyrim runes in there.
Oh.
It just said coffee,
really?
but it was misspelled.
I thought that they had changed it by Friendsim. I thought they changed it all after the first bit of Homestuck.
They would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the wiki, and it was the I was looking for fonts to download.
Oh yeah. I actually on Homestuck.net they have a resources file that has a bunch of fonts.
Okay. Yeah,
so,
I saw
Homestuck,
some, but I didn't.
Yeah, they don't have all of them, like but they have a bunch on there. Homestuck.net
it's
very
.com.
Huh?
Sorry, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking Homestar Runner.
But it's extremely good. Like this is not just me saying it to you, but to all the viewers out there, all 2 of you. Homestuck.net, super great resource. I have been half considering doing an episode just about Homestuck.net, but there's some considerations to be taken with that I don't really want to get into on stream, but if you know, you know. But
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like super bad, but I've gotten into worse potential discourse on stream before, but I'm trying to tone it down. Out of character, I know. But anyway, it's got a great resource for like backing up a lot of like fan videos and fan ventures and just like a lot of fan works. It has links to fan games and downloads of it for those that don't exist anymore. It has requests for stuff that can't be found. It has like art resources that people have made, and it's got so much shit on it. It's got archives of like Hussey's Form Spring stuff. Just so much. If you're ever like looking for something Homestuck, check homestuck.net first. Anyway.
The downside is that it's a little difficult for you to further your goal of gathering even more friendship from the inside of a vehicle. So you'd parked the scuttle buggy, and exposed yourself to the menaces of the outside world once more.
I love the idea of Imspar catcalling for friendship out of the vehicle.
Also, isn't the rain like toxic or something? Or only in the daytime?
Maybe it's only in the daytime. I don't know. I didn't
This is
feel
for
like
our deep dive podcast. When is the rain toxic on Alternia?
Yeah, I guess it was toxic. I don't know.
You're in what looks like some sort of residential neighborhood. It isn't as nice as the blue blood neighborhoods you've seen, but still nice enough for most of the apartment complexes to have imposing locked front gates and security drones. But of course you can't take a leisurely stroll on Alternia without something terrible happening. You aren't out here for very long before it starts raining. Shit. Damn. Ah, fuck.
Oh, I guess they just had this background already in place and like didn't have one without the rain to then put the rain on to show it that it started raining.
I would simply
sense.
just draw more graphics.
Yeah.
Yes. Get good.
Yeah. I mean,
Damn.
in this case, I would hopefully like plan to not put the rain. I put it
on
on
the
a
same
separate
layer
layer
as like all the other. Yeah, because
Yeah.
then you could do some cool Rempy stuff with like making it move.
Yeah.
Some yeah.
You ditched the umbrella Tirona had given you since it was as heavy as a goddamn club, and now you're super regretting it.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Keep your inventory in the car.
Yeah, for real. I mean, especially like you need like if the rain can kill you, you need an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Running for shelter is all you can do, so you make a mad dash for one of the building awnings, huddling uncomfortably underneath it. The rain doesn't let up. You have to move soon. The security drones are beginning to look like they're planning on taking a few shots at you for loitering. You need to make a decision, and fast.
Save. My last save slot before I have to start deleting stuff, which is fine, because we're not going to go back to those other choices anyway.
I'm going to guess that the run back to Scuttle Buggy is the quick ending, so let's try that one. It's parked a ways away down the street, but if you run fast enough, you might be able to make it. You abandon the security of the metal awning, launching yourself back into the minor apocalypse that is regular Alternian weather. You should have been able to guess how this was going to go. The raindrops are too dense for you to successfully dodge them all, and your delicate human body isn't built to withstand the nuclear-ass rain. You probably would have had better luck with the security drones. Nope. Well,
Bones.
Canonical Imspar skeleton. That's fun. Just immediately melted.
Yeah.
Now for our hyper detailed podcast idea, we're going to need science people to say, okay, so how fast would the human skin be able to melt off, but not immediately do the same to the bones? Or maybe just not to the bigger bones and the smaller bones disintegrated. What sort of like pH level or whatever are we talking about?
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work.
pH levels of Homestuck.
Yeah, Homestuck pH levels. Like, legitimately, I am too dumb for that podcast idea, but it is so good if I could just get smarter people to come on and talk about Homestuck shit. Like I said, I would get, like, you know, maybe I wouldn't get necessarily as many listeners, but I would get oh God, I'm gonna say
Dedicated people.
yeah, I was about to say higher quality, and that's not what I mean, but like, because like if you have 100 views or something and you get one interaction, that is like a good percentage. That's a good ratio, right?
Mhm.
But I feel like if you did like this, you would get 100 listens and then like 60 interactions, right? Like that would be the ratio.
Mhm. Especially if you got people who just say the wrong science, then you would get more
Oh, I couldn't do
interactions.
that. I think that would physically kill me unless it was like an April Fool's episode, unless I was doing a meme.
Yeah.
I think I would like I wouldn't be able to handle that.
Okay.
But yes, that could be a very good rage bait podcast. Okay, let's
Try and get into one of the buildings.
yeah.
There's
There's
no way
no
you're
Oh, sorry, you're
Oh.
doing it.
There's no way you're getting into any of these without a passcode, but wait, you think you see someone coming your way. Perhaps they'll be your knight in shining armor?
I love that there are passcodes instead of locks or like, keys. I don't
Mhm.
know. That just seems I mean, I guess unless it's a long passcode. I don't know.
I was gonna say if it was an
My-
apartment complex.
Oh.
Well,
Like on your
even-
door?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
ma-
the like outside like foyer kind of door, in order to lead in.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, sometimes.
Also, my friend who has 5 children has a number lock on their door, so they don't have to carry a billion keys.
Oh, that makes
Valid.
sense. Yeah. Yeah. We're just gonna start getting like key fobs like they have for cars,
Mm.
but for doors.
They do
That
that
sounds
in,
like a
like,
terrible
Korea.
idea. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
it means I wouldn't have to fumble with my freaking keys all the time.
For
Nice.
real. I just don't trust. I mean, it would definitely be a higher level apartment that would have it anyway. My apartment sucks so bad. Like, if someone wanted to break in here, it really wouldn't be that hard. The door doesn't completely latch without the deadbolt. And the deadbolt goes into just wood. There's no metal around it, right? Like it's not
Really?
like yeah. I brought that up when I moved in, and there's a lot of stuff that I brought up when I moved in, and then it got addressed, and now we're under different management, so I might try bringing it all up again. Just slowly trickle in maintenance issues.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, at least like, does it even have like the strike plate?
No, there's no plates.
Mhm.
It's just the wood. It's like the plate
The
got
back
stripped
door,
out.
you have to have like a 2x4 to keep the back door closed.
Yeah, I mean this isn't so much of a security thing because my actual oh my god, my sliding glass door out to my balcony does have the metal bar that you can put down to keep it shut, but
Yeah.
there's a gap on the bottom of it that I really need to get actually fixed before this summer hits because I have like a handkerchief shoved in there now to try to keep it closed. I really should have gotten it taken care of before, but like I said, I put these maintenance issues in, they didn't get taken care of, and my ADHD ass like forgets because I just get used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why I can't dox myself because I just explained how very easy it is to break into my house.
Everyone, I know where Jackie lives. Let me
Yeah,
know
you
if
can
he's
come
got some
steal-
extra money.
You can come steal my 10-year-old TV, my like 13-year-old computer, like
Just steal the appliances. That'll be on the apartment.
oh my god, yeah, you can steal my stove that one of the eyes has like is just rusting away underneath. My dishwasher that doesn't have a top spinner. My very tiny microwave. Like
Yeah.
Sure,
We're just gonna like reverse steal. Just
Yeah.
oh
It's
no,
not
my
quite-
old TV's gone, but now I have a new TV.
It's not
Yeah.
quite Robin Hood. It's still stealing from the poor, but the apartment actually gives you something.
Yeah, I have renter's insurance, but
Yeah.
I'm complaining. My TV isn't bad. Like you don't need to upgrade your TV that much, and it was free. So
I mean,
it has
older
Roku.
TVs kind of better than newer TVs with all the smart TV shit that's really slow.
Oh, but that is the thing is I do have a Roku TV, and it is very slow. It's like my
Oh.
guy. I just want to go over to my HDMI. This is taking
Yeah.
years, and then it will reload to update the latest live thing, like the Wicked that isn't like the movie that just came out. So it's trying to like make people click who don't understand that it's not the movie that just came out. So.
Mhm.
Anyway, very off topic. What is my Stelsa voice? I went into this without figuring that out.
I should make a podcast where I just rant about user interfaces.
Please do.
absolutely.
You should. Everyone should make a podcast about anything they want forever. And if you ever want help making a podcast and figuring that out, talk to me. If I had a lot of listeners, I would not say that so openly and get like a bunch of people in. But I'm fairly confident that I won't suddenly get hundreds of people asking me how to make podcasts. But genuinely, everyone should. If you kind of want to do something, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Anyway.
I would happily rant about like shitty new world tech with you guys though.
Yeah. I wish I had the time for more podcasts. Like genuinely, I have so many other podcast ideas.
Who are you, Stelsa?
Yes. Now I'm just trying to remember if I can still get into the register because my voice has changed enough that like I've tried like screaming at like you know at the Mabim Bam whenever they were starting and everyone was like yelling and applauding and everything, and nothing came out because my voice changed, and so I had to figure out where my scream is. So that's terrible. So what you're telling me is that my appointment is canceled.
You're still some distance away, but she's looking right at you. You point at yourself questioningly, thinking she might be talking to you, but then you realize she's wearing a Bluetooth headset.
Dweeb.
It's got Bluetooth on Alternia.
Yeah. She also
got Vikings to name Bluetooth after.
Oh my god. She's also, she's got to have one of those cell phone clips for your for your belt.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Jeremy used to be so on the ball. Remember the time he gave me a full prong beautifying procedure right after that high blood ripped his arm off? But now he can't bounce back from one little thresher in the abdominal sausages. What happened? That boy is losing his touch. No punctuation. Gotta make it a little bit hard.
Run-on sentence. Got it.
Looks like she's coming back from a jog, if the running shorts are anything to go by. If she's at all bothered by the acid glancing off her skin, sending dozens of little firecracker sparks in their wake, she isn't showing it.
That's cool as hell, actually.
She seems much more preoccupied by the harried conversation she's having on the phone. Most importantly, she's power walking to the entrance of the building, which means she must live here.
I do love just the expression and just like, I don't know, I just love that little detail of her like pushing up her eyebrow. That's just, I don't know. It's a nice touch.
This is your chance. You shuffle along under the awning, pressing yourself close to the side of the building, bug-like. You sort of wish she'd encountered you earlier, when you were dodging the rain like a rad action hero. Now you just look sort of cowardly and pathetic. Especially compared to her, she's striding along like absolutely nothing is going to get in the way of whatever business she's got going on, let alone a few paltry explosions. Actually, she's so focused on her call that she doesn't notice you until you're standing right next to her.
Such an inconvenience. You can fully expect that I will be taking my business elsewhere from now on. Oh my god, what do we have here?
She transitions from hanging up the call to talking to you so quickly that it makes your head spin.
Take this down. Strange little hornless creature parked in front of my home, very puny and scared looking. Can only be the alien everyone has been talking about. Such an opportunity can't go to waste, now can it?
You're confused again, looking around to see who she might be talking to. But there's no one else here. Maybe she's dictating notes to her phone?
Look at you. We can't have you wandering around outside like this, darling, can we? Aren't you ravishing? Do give me the name of your stylist. So good to meet you. Here's my card. My name's Stelzias, auditorizer in training for the Alternian Empire. Nice to meet you. Let's walk and talk.
Also, the idea that these are all, like, basically still children / teenagers is, like...
The teals make it really hard to keep that in mind, especially, Stelsa and Tisius, I feel like, especially Stelsa. But like Tisius you can take for like an older teen, but Stelsa just really does seem like a
Yeah,
businesswoman. But
she
yeah, so
is a 40-year-old mother,
right, like
divorced mom living in a nice gated community with her extra income from not having a second person to take care of.
right. She really does, like, some of these characters just really do like strain credulity. Credulity.
It's
Jesus Christ.
it's like yeah. Anytime you read a YA novel, it's like always
Yes.
kids, but they're like groveled, and I've been through so much, but they're like 16.
Yeah, it's like
It's
anime.
Yeah,
I was born on the battlefield.
Yeah.
like
8
reading
years old.
Six of Crows, and like I just have to think of these people as like 30s.
Yeah.
Small side note, tell me how that is, because I've been wanting to read that.
I enjoyed that book, and also the Netflix series kind of merges two of those series together, which was also
Oh
nice.
shit.
I didn't
Didn't even
there's
realize there was a
Netflix
Netflix.
series.
It's a
Hey.
Shadow and Bone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep. I didn't read Shadow and Bone, but I read the Six of Crow stuff.
Mm.
Anyway, you didn't realize that borrowed hoodie was that impressive of a look, but okay. She produces a business card with one hand and inputs some numbers into a panel with the other. You take the card.
Speaking of which, like, not to nitpick the world building of Homestuck, but the hoodie should have been enough to save from the acid rain, or else it would be a shit hoodie for Alternia,
Well,
you know?
Okay, so the death picture should have been a skull, but then an intact body.
Or it could have, it shouldn't have been a death. It would just been like Imspar trapped in a corner, like huddled up in his hoodie like a turtle.
Oh.
Like pull the hood down and just get your arms up in there. I mean, like Imspar's got to be smaller than Malik, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be funny. Did you finish reading that?
I think I did.
Okay.
Yes. It's a struggle to process what she's saying, respond to her questions, and introduce yourself, all while experiencing the verbal equivalent of getting hit by a truck. How is it possible to talk so fast without taking a breath? You can barely get a word in edgewise.
She has a podcast.
Yeah. Stelsa continues chattering away as she steps inside and waits for you to follow her into the apartment building's elevator. You do.
So tell me, do you run any business on your planet? If you do, I would be more than happy to offer my services. They are very efficient and affordable, I can assure you. Like, she and Tagora have got to get along, right? All your legal and financial documents will be checked over in no time. I'll make sure everything is running at tip-top shape. I'm so happy to have run into you. Ever since Zizi told me she met you, I've been asking her to introduce me. It's so very important for a professional to continue growing her network, especially intergalactically. Don't you agree?
She's still busying herself with her phone while talking to you, texting on its tiny keyboard now. The name ZZ doesn't ring any bells. You flip through the Rolodex in your brain, trying to remember.
You think she has a BlackBerry?
Yeah.
Depending on the decade, yeah. Have you really made so many friends that you're beginning to forget their names? You're a little impressed with yourself.
Well, I mean, these characters are canonically in, Hiveswap 2, and Joey is from the 90s, so...
Yeah.
If the decade translates to the Alternian equivalent of the 90s, then...
BlackBerry businesswoman.
It feels like only yesterday that you were crawling around in the basement of a murderess and getting stabbed in the shin with a screwdriver. Just a single friend to your name. Good times.
Our data lives on in this route, too.
You've come so far since then. It brings a single sentimental tear to your eye. Oh, wait. Delsa's own name finally starts to register. You've heard it before. This is Tisius's mate spread, so she must be talking about Tisius.
Murderous is stabbing. Very fascinating stuff, I'm sure. Yes, I'm referring to my darling Tisius, of course.
You're at the door to her hive. She unlocks it, letting you both in.
What a room.
What a room.
Just all
Oh
the
my
post-it
God, the
notes and
little-
everything.
The little grub hang in there.
Oh my
I see a
god.
Mario
Corner.
fire flower.
Oh yeah. This has so many cool details. And then the freaking exercise machine with a book on it.
Uh-huh.
So
I love
good.
it.
Come in, come in. Welcome to Ches Says Yeah. Make yourself at home. Can I get you anything? Water, grub cake, my rate sheet? I would love to continue our chat while I'm a little less sweaty. Also, acid wreaks absolute havoc on the skin. You know how it is. You know how it is. I'll just jump into the ablution trap for a minute. Please excuse me. Won't be long. Back in 2 shakes of a quack beast's gastric evacuation pillow.
Uh, Actually, you wouldn't know how it is, considering that a bucket load of acid falling on you would leave you either very injured or very dead. And she's already gone.
Oh, it's a stepper.
You're-
I want a stepper. I like this better than treadmills.
Mm.
You're a little relieved. It's not that Stelsa isn't friendly. She's plenty friendly. She just approaches friendship in a way that makes you feel a little like a line on her to-do list that she's in a hurry to check off.
Is that better or worse than Tagora wanting you to pay for every sentence he speaks to you?
Yeah. Or, well, she seems like she wants you as some sort of work contact. Not as a friend, but that's okay. You've worn many hats in the pursuit of friendship. Clown cultist, impromptu shoosh papper, murder accomplice, business associate is one of the tamer ones on the list.
I need to remember to check out my Ko-fi bot because it is just way too active. This is the activity if someone actually has like dozens or more people in the stream talking, not just me. It's like it's been 3 posts already and we have been on for an hour and a half. That's too much.
Oh my gosh.
Now that you no longer have to keep up with her mile-a-minute conversation, you can take a proper look around her hive. You're not sure what's more perturbing, the sheer amount of pink that's accosting your eyeballs, or the fact that everything is so painstakingly organized that it's making you a little uncomfortable. It's like you merely standing here is disrupting the careful order of the room.
More things should have been pink for that sentence.
Yeah, I mean, the walls are pink, but it's also blocked by a gigantic file cabinet.
Right, the file cabinet and the poster board and stuff. Also, I have recently discovered I have OCD, so my place is a mess. But if I had all the time and energy to the world and not like 5 billion projects I'm working on, yeah.
If I had the money to just go buy shelves all the freaking time, my house would be much better.
Right, God, if I worked at I worked at the Container Store for a while, if I could actually afford the stuff that the Container Store offered.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm looking at the shelves in the back, the filing cabinets, and I'm low key just like, you're blocking so much potential light, because I'm looking at the one next to the stepper and it's like, so they've all got to be full length windows.
Yeah.
You're just blocking everything off with
Not very
cabinets.
feng shui.
That's kind of how if I'm remembering correctly, that's how Justin's game board room is, because it's got a lot of light. Do you remember, Moosie?
I didn't actually go in there. I took a nap.
Oh, fair. That's right.
Nap time.
Nap time.
Yep. I'm just a tired, weak, sleepy little guy.
I get it.
Valid.
Her shelves are crammed full of books, all neatly arranged according to topic, with each topic displayed on a little label on each shelf. She also has a lot of posters featuring motivational slogans underneath striking nature photography. The only normal-looking spot in the hive is a coffee table with a mishmash of personal belongings piled on top of it. Books, papers, a jacket. You think that might be a mug? None of those items strike you as being particularly Stelzias' style.
I forget how to minimize the text box. So we can maybe look at the coffee table behind there.
It has to be some keyboard key, but I don't remember.
Yeah, because I've been playing, I played the first chapter of Scarlet Hollow that's also made in Rempe, and they actually had a thing that told you that you can minimize it so you could look at a dog better. So, I just forget what it is.
Does H do anything?
It's H! You're so right.
Yay!
So yeah, there's the coffee table. Maybe I'll remember to do that more often to get to see these backgrounds. But yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's because Stelzias had the pin on her jacket.
The overall effect is that of a very pink, very neat office cubicle. I won't call this a cubicle. You almost feel like you should start chugging mediocre coffee and complaining about how much you hate Mondays.
Like, God, I wish cubicles were this big.
Yeah. This does not read corporate to me at all, except for the big file cabinets.
Right, like, you might be able to fit one of those file cabinets in a typical cubicle, maybe.
Yeah, the only time I had a cubicle and not an open floor plan office, it was a 6 foot by 6 foot cubicle, so it wasn't very big.
Yeah, I can't remember how big mine was. I don't know. I'm bad with measurements, much less one I haven't seen in 5 years.
Yeah.
So sorry to have kept you waiting. I thought she was... Sorry,
Yeah,
I thought she had like a
hair.
goth look for a second, and I was like, what?
I thought she had like really bright green hair.
I
Yeah.
know. I thought that too. Like,
I
did
assume
you
that's a
dye your
towel.
hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Stelsa reemerges, her hair wrapped in a towel.
Well, it's been a blast getting to know you. We should get lunch sometime. Keep the conversation going. I'll pencil you in, darling. But for now, I have a bit of a dilemma to deal with.
That sounds worryingly like a dismissal. You sneak a glance at the schedule on her bulletin board. It's a blaze of color with barely any free slots. You don't want to be penciled in. You have no idea when she might be available next, and you need her sweet, sweet friendship now. Maybe whatever problem she has is something you could help with?
Unless you're a ludicrously talented beautician, I think not. My usual place bumped me off their list, and right before a very important meeting, too. A girl has to look her best for these things to really knock their socks off. If I want to make arrangements at another salon, I shall have to move fast, no time to waste. Save. And we start... Oh my god. We start over. Saving over our data, the final indignity. Goodbye, our data. Who needs extra time to prep for a meeting, or who needs a beautician when you're around?
Who needs a beautician when I'm around? You have absolutely no professional beauty experience, but Sarava did give you that crash course in crafting great looks. Stelsa is probably after a vibe that's a little less moisture wave, but you're sure you can whip something up. You tell her that you'll help her get ready instead, right here in her hive.
Ooh, how nice of you. I've never had a house call before. Let's do this.
Okay, now this is pink.
Jesus, I could not imagine sleeping in here. I love like it's growing like a plant more than like a... I mean, I guess it's still like down here looks more like a bug thing. But anyway, that's so many lights to have in what is basically your bedroom.
Turned it off. Go to sleep.
I know, but like...
I was gonna say, you turn on, you just flashbang yourself.
Right,
into
like you wake up and just like flip on the lights and like, fuck my life.
Yeah. She leads you into the next room, rubbing her hair dry as she goes.
I guess these are maybe like horn utensils back here. That looks like a dental instrument. Just giant.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about like dental equipment or whatever. There's a recoup raccoon in one corner and a vanity in the other, with an array of poofs, brushes, and other mysterious implements spread out on its surface. Some of them are disturbingly pointy. Oh well, you're sure you'll be able to figure out what they're all for once you start using them. Mini game time.
Oh my
Stelsa
god,
takes a
that'd be great.
seat in the chair in front of the vanity, holding her hands primly in her lap.
So, darling, what do you think we should do first? It's all up to you.
Not this again. Why are you always making all the decisions around here? What you wouldn't give to be able to foist your own life choices off on random people you've just met. It would be refreshing.
To be fair, you volunteered to be a beautician.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the times in the job.
Yeah.
I guess we'll save again just in case.
What do you think's easier for a newbie, to polish some horns or to style some hair?
Style hair. You don't know what all horns need, right? But hair's hair, unless it's weird troll hair. But
I feel like you'd maybe wax the horns down, maybe.
yeah.
Style hair. The first order of business should be drying Stelz's hair. You pick up a funnel-shaped doohickey that looks like it might be a hairdryer, fumbling around for a button. There isn't one, but you manage to turn it on by giving it a good squeeze.
Gross.
The mouth of the funnel opens up wide, emitting a hot blast of air along with a hoarse animal yell. You think you might actually see teeth inside?
If these are actually like living creatures of some sort, do they get fed?
Very Flintstonian.
Yeah.
Just don't think about it too much. That's the best you can do when it comes to literally any Alternian gadget. Thankfully, the noise soon fades to a low hum.
Here, use this.
Stelsa passes you a piece of thorny bramble. It looks painful, but when you begin brushing Stelsa's hair, she sighs happily.
Interesting being in this position for once. When Tizzy's is over, usually I'm the one doing this.
You try to imagine Stelzias letting someone give her a sweet do. Even when it's her girlfriend in question, you have a hard time picturing it. Stelsa laughs. She has a surprisingly pretty musical laugh.
No. My dear Zizi isn't one for involved beauty rituals. She usually doesn't let me do more than just brush it, but it's still relaxing.
Sliding the brush through Stelsa's hair is pretty relaxing. You allow yourself to zen out for a moment before shaking yourself out of it, casting around something for something to talk about. That's what good hairdressers do, right? Strike up casual conversation. This is why I never go get my hair cut.
Frickin' mood.
Don't talk to me. Even like getting a tattoo is like, am I supposed to talk to you? Can I just not?
Yeah, I think that's why I have like better luck when I go to sports clips more than anything else.
Ew. Your eyes fall on an open book sitting on the table. It's the only object there that doesn't have anything to do with hair care or beauty, so it stands out like a sore thumb. Just like the items on the coffee table, it's strewn too haphazardly to look like it belongs to Stelsa. You think you see some of the tabs Stelzias was using on the notes for her group project. And if you look even closer, you think you can catch the words revolt and history in the page header. The revolting history of Alternia.
You're not wrong.
Right. As Stelzias' mate Spritz, Stelsa probably has big plans for dismantling the system from the inside too, after she becomes an auditor. You remark that you think it's really cool what she and Stelzias are doing. It might be scary to stick it to the man like that, but someone has to do it. Okay. It's not exactly light conversation, but talking to Stelzias about this had been so enlightening, if sad, and you'd really bonded over it. Maybe you'll be able to bond with Stelsa in the same way. But Stelsa only looks confused. Then her eyes flick down to the book, just for a second, before she reaches out, smartly snaps it shut, and squirrels it away in one of the drawers. The sound of the drawer slamming makes you jump, and you narrowly avoid pulling Stelsa's hair.
I am quite sure I don't know what you're talking about. I am not sticking anything anywhere. Definitely not to any man. And neither is Stelzias.
She's sitting straight and tense in her chair now, her voice soaring to a high, bordering on hysterical pitch. Oh no, she probably doesn't know you're on their side. Tizius might not have told her about your conversation. It's okay. You're not going to tell anyone. You're sworn to secrecy. But Stelsa averts her eyes, a stubborn set to her chin.
Again, I have no clue what you're talking about. Not a single clue. Tizias and myself are both law-abiding subjects of the Empire. We don't dabble in such foolish things as sympathizing with rebels. What would that possibly accomplish?
She wrings her hands distractedly.
We do things the way we do on Alternia for a reason, darling. Without the hemospectrum and the roles we each need to play, why? The world would be plunged into complete chaos. Can you even imagine? Trolls running around not knowing which way is up, doing whatever they please, no one to tell them what their place in the world is.
She goes from hand-wringing to gesticulating wildly, almost knocking a row of jars off the table, positively frantic at the prospect of societal breakdown.
Podcast analyzing the similarities between Alternia and Dragon Age Cune. Oh, that's me. Fuck. It's better for everyone this way. I truly believe that.
You're beginning to realize that you might have put your foot in your mouth. Just a little bit. Stuffed a toe or two in that gob of yours, baby. She sounds way too earnest for this to be a cover-up. Could it be possible that Stelsa really does side with what Tizias had called her, the Condis? And that she doesn't know about Tizias's underground research after all? But the book was right there. You're so confused. Talking about this is clearly distressing Stelsa, though, so you drop it, focusing on finishing up her hair instead. It's pretty soft now that it's dry. You're not sure you've styled it correctly, but she seems pleased.
Great work. Nice. Fantastic. You did an excellent job.
You glow at the praise. You'd say thanks, but she's already passing you a bottle of nail polish. She really wants you to go all the way, huh? You twist it open and get to work. You're too focused on not smudging the teal color over the stately points of her claws to talk, but Stelsa breaks the silence.
I have a question for you.
You nod, sticking your tongue out in concentration.
So, I have this acquaintance.
This is the most tentative you've heard her so far. You weren't sure her vocal cords were capable of it.
They are in a quadrant with someone who harbors views most would consider subversive, if not outright treasonous.
She's obviously talking about herself and Tizias, but you don't want to point that out in case she gets upset again, so you just nod along thoughtfully.
She didn't always... The matesprit, I mean. It will blow over at some point. She must just be going through a difficult phase. But in the meantime, she could get into oh so much trouble.
Stelsa's lower lip wobbles like she's about to cry. You chew on the inside of your cheek, trying to figure out what to say. Talking to Tizias very much did not leave you with the impression that it was a phase. She sounded pretty serious. Does Stelsa's friend have any idea that this is going on? She looks at the drawer. So do you.
Nope.
You resist the urge to massage your temples. No idea at all?
Absolutely not.
All right. Okay. You can do this. A good first step might be for her friend to face up to the issue. If there's the chance they have the tiniest inkling about what might be happening, so the two of them can talk about it.
Talk about it.
Yeah. You're no expert, but open discussion probably helps with relationship problems quite a bit.
Yeah, I feel like 99% of all relationship problems, whether they be romantic, professional, friendship, whatever, comes down to shit communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, you ruminate to yourself. The more you think about it, the less it seems that Tizias leaving her controversial book out in the open like that was an accident. It was right in front of Stelsa's chair, after all. Maybe Tizias wanted Stelsa to see it. You'd slicked the last bit of color into Stelsa's pinky claw a while ago. but you're both too wrapped up in the conversation to suggest that you move on to something else. She lets the polish dry while the two of you continue to talk.
I do
You
wish they
click-
actually did have like claws
Yeah.
instead of like short fingernails that are
Just
so short you can see the
hands.
finger on the other end. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't read that one.
Oh, my bad. I got distracted by the fingers.
You'd clicked. Oh wait, no, I read that one.
Oh, okay. But my friend does not agree with her mate Sprit's sentiments. Discussing it would just cause unnecessary friction, wouldn't it?
Maybe, but even so, addressing the issue is probably better than pretending it isn't there. Besides, quadrant mates can coexist regardless of differing beliefs, right? Yeah, you don't sound convincing, even to yourself, but the platitude seems to comfort Stelzias somewhat.
Maybe you're right.
Carefully, mindful of her just-dried nails, she wipes away a few tears, much to your horror. Was that the wrong thing to say? But then you notice that she's smiling.
I have not spoken about that to anyone before now. Telling you about it was truly a load off my bellosac cavity. I am certain my friend will be grateful as well. I shall relay your advice accordingly as soon as I can. It's very hard without punctuation.
You smile back at her weakly. You haven't been able to relate to very much when it comes to Alternian life. But boy, can you relate to relationship drama. And Trurls sure seem to have plenty of it.
I don't know. Have you ever been to a high school? This doesn't seem above average.
You hope everything turns out all right for her friend. Since her voice is all sniffly and her eyelashes still wet, you retrieve a frilly box of hand tissues and hold it out to her, hoping that it will help. She pulls out a few and blows her nose on them with a sad honking noise.
I should finish getting ready.
She seems reluctant to get up, though. You'd probably be the same, knowing you had to head into a serious business meeting after spilling your heart like that. Experiencing emotions is tiring.
Me when I schedule therapy on a lunch break.
Yeah. Eventually, though, Stelsa musters up enough energy to get to her feet. Much to your surprise, instead of immediately rushing off to complete her next pre-meeting task, she pulls you into a tight hug.
Thank you. You're a real friend.
And there it is. Not colleague, not potential client, but that wonderful friendship word. Such a friendship whore.
Ah, cute.
Aww.
I can't believe they're putting the diamond there because the implication is that now Imspar is cheating on Polypa. Damn. Participating in the drama. Now we have to do the bad end.
Yeah. Well, there were two decisions, right? There was the make more time for blah blah blah, and also doing the
Oh,
horns.
right.
I'm like low-key scared that the horns were gonna like accidentally cut off her horns.
That would be
Polish
wild.
horns with chainsaw. You pick up a velvety piece of cloth, bringing it up to Stelsa's head. There's only one thing this can be for, right? I mean, horns that I know of aren't really. I don't know. I just think of like goat horns are pretty rough.
Yeah. They always look shiny though. So
Yeah.
Gotta scrape the crud off. Scrape.
Wait, what are you going to do with that?
Polish her horns to impressive sheen, of course. They'll be positively gleaming by the time you're done with them.
Oh, sorry. Fuck.
Oh, she grabs your wrist with one hand before you can do so. She's deceptively strong, holding you in such an ironclad grip that you can't move your arm at all. You'd been low-key admiring her toned arms earlier, but now you know for sure that the rack of hot pink dumbbells in the living room weren't just for show. Instead of looking pleased with what you proposed to do, she looks a little uneasy, possibly a little embarrassed.
Polish my...
Is this like a bucket thing?
Yeah, I don't think it's ever mentioned in Homestuck though. I think this is a Hiveswap original.
Mm.
I
You
could be
barely
wrong.
get a glimpse. You barely get a glimpse of her discomfited expression before she's gracing you with another friendly smile, albeit a bit of a strained one.
You know, I think I'm having second thoughts. It's reasonable to expect that an alien like you wouldn't know the first thing about troll grooming habits. My mistake. I should have accounted for such cultural differences, but it's quite all right. I shall figure something else out.
Is it just you, or was there a pointed pause before cultural differences? She's getting up again. Wait, what's happening? You thought the two of you were going to bond over a sweet makeover session, but she's pushing you back into the main area of her hive, pretty forcefully, too.
Thank you for offering your help, dear. But so very kind. So very kind of you, but I'll manage. Great to meet you. Just wonderful. Call me. Take care. Have a nice life. Toodles. Goodbye.
She shoots you another lovely yet very clearly fake smile and shoves you out the door. You'll be able to wait out the rain just fine in this hallway, but being sprawled on your ass on Stelzias' welcome mat all by your own lonesome just isn't the same as hanging out with a new friend.
Oh.
Oh, game over.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Tisius. Your new friend made some inappropriate advances. Oh, just let me scroll back.
They have made things very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Use the
Okay.
extra time to do prep for the meeting.
That is an excellent idea. I visited this potential client's establishment a wipe ago, but it was a quick one. I could do well to cast my gander bulbs around the place properly. It's pretty much in the bag, but this meeting is the clincher, and there's no way I can flub it. Having Ramel Namak as a client would be too good to have a cluck beast plume in my pamphlet for me to check the opportunity in the load gaper.
It's a lot of idioms.
Yeah.
Alternium idioms. Ramele? I totally know her. How about that?
Yes, I would hope you did, darling. She's only been splashed all over the papers lately with that stunt of hers. Buying out a competitor like that, huh?
I'm gonna have to look up who it is because I don't remember.
The painter. You guys went to go steal the competitor's art.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ooh.
Buying out her competitor like that, I've never heard the likes of it before.
She's flitting around her hive as she speaks, nipping into what you assume is her bedroom to blow her hair dry before shuffling some papers into a handbag. You tail her as best you can, feeling a bit like a pet cat underfoot who's threatening to trip her at every turn.
Maintaining a career successful yet relatively avant-garde artist is very different to assuming ownership of and managing a museum, and yet she has made it work.
Whoa. Sounds like Ramele has been busy since the last time you saw her. You clarify that Ramele is a friend of yours, actually. Stelsa stops in her tracks.
Really? Why didn't you say so in the first place? You should come with me. Getting the 411 on Ramel from a friend of hers could really give me a frond up. What do you say?
You're not sure there's much you can tell Stelsa about Ramele. You're pretty sure she doesn't want an auditor in training, or, well, anyone really, knowing that she's an art thief. But, why not? There has to be some stray info about Ramele knocking around in the old noggin that might come in useful.
Marvelous. Come on, you can tell me on the way.
She takes your hand and pulls you out the door. Oh, you offer Stelsa a ride in your totally not stolen scuttle buggy. It's still raining, and she shields you both with an umbrella that's almost as big as you are as you walk to where it's parked. You get in, put some tunes on for the road, and head off.
Damn, that's wrecked.
Yeah. Once you're on your way, you admit that to Stelsa that most of your and Ramele's conversations just involve her bouncing ideas off of you for her webcomic. But you're still happy to answer any questions she might have about about Ramele's overall deal. You're expecting her to be disappointed, but her eyes practically light up.
What a privilege! To be completely truthful, I am quite the fan. I have been following her webcomic for a while.
She admits this kind of thing, or she emits this kind of sheepishly. Does she think that liking comics is embarrassing?
Of course not. Okay, maybe a little. It seems irresponsible to spend time on something as flippant as a comic on the internet when I have so much other business to attend to. Lots of irons in the fire over here. Achievements don't achieve themselves, you know.
Maybe, but hobbies and downtime are important too. You never feel more rested than after you've let yourself do absolutely nothing but enjoy a good comic.
What?
She looks at you blankly. You know, rest?
Oh, I always make sure to get enough recuperation every night. No concerns there, to be sure.
What you're talking about is a bit different from getting enough sleep, but you try a different tack. Why is she taking this job with Ramele anyway? Isn't she busy enough with her training?
Well, sure, I have that internship with the Alternian government as well, but there can never be enough experience under one's belt.
You're beginning to see what the problem is. You get the feeling that Stelsa might be a bit of a workaholic. Just vaguely. Has she ever considered... You're so involved in trying to convince Stelsa of the merits of getting her chill on that you don't realize there's anything wrong. Not until Stelsa lets out a screech that almost bursts your eardrums.
Fiddlesticks, we can't go this way. There's road work happening here. The scuttle buggy must be operating with an outdated map. Switch it to manual and turn us around. Quick, quick!
The road work Stelsa is referring to is a bridge with a "Do Not Enter" sign hastily put up. Beyond the sign, the bridge is peppered with enormous holes. Some look big enough for the entire car to fall through easily.
What are you waiting for? Hurry!
Well, there is one small problem. You can't drive.
Oh, fudge nuggets!
Stelsa presses a few buttons, switching the controls to manual. You grab the wheel, turning it wildly, your only goal to make sure that you don't drive onto the death bridge. You probably should have paid attention to the steep slope curving away from the road. You both yell as the scuttle buggy zooms downwards at full tilt. Miraculously, it doesn't tip, but it does slam into a power line, sending the two of you lurching forward.
Blood splatters.
Oh dear.
Oh, good. If it wasn't for the unnerving lung-like airbags that inflate in front of you, you would have shot out the window, the front window.
Also, this is the God. What is it? What is Zephyros's whole thing? The sport. It's Zephyros's sport thing.
Sport thing?
Yeah, Zephyros from Hiveswap. How he had.
I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, the sport thing. You know, sport thing.
Yeah.
Sports.
Ball hit the game.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiously, you ask if Stelsa is okay. Stelsa doesn't seem too concerned about whether she's injured or not. She's making a futile attempt to push the airbags out of the way so she can get out of the car.
There's no way we will make my meeting on time now. And I look an absolute mess.
She's right. Her hair, which was all gentle and soft tufts before, is sticking up in all directions, and her glasses have smashed in the collision.
Why did I think this was a good idea? I should have just walked. Thanks for nothing.
The car might have survived the crash, but if Stelsa's cranky expression is anything to go by, your budding friendship with her wasn't as lucky. Fashion bomba.
Fashion
Like
football.
those feet, the little
Yeah.
anger feet.
So good. That scuttle buggy does not look like it survived the crash.
Sir, you did not live.
Did not live.
You're missing a leg. A leg.
That's so good. God. Obviously we did. Like I usually go from left to right with the routes anyway, and even then we needed to do boulders first to be able to get Damian. But it is I just feel like the ending of boulders was just way better for like ending the stream on,
Yeah.
Which is why I almost ended it, because I forgot we still needed to do Stelzias, because it was like, this is finished. This is a good thought to end on. But yes, very, very exciting. Let's see. Oh, I already forgot. Karako.
It was a clown person.
Yeah, it's a little clown baby.
Clown child.
A clown child. A tiny guy. And then Marcy.
A little man.
Yeah. He's just a silly little guy who's a clown. A clown baby. We're getting there though.
And the big clown.
The big clown. But yeah, this next one's gonna be fun. Cause little clown baby.
Baby.
But yes. Moosie, any thoughts about the routes?
I don't remember anybody's names.
That's fine. There's a shit ton of them, and I barely remember them sometimes. And I've played through these before and been in many conversations about them. So there's a lot of characters in Homestuck and in Friendsim. So many.
Characters.
Yeah. God, is that Kofi bot posting like every half hour? That's so many posts.
It's
Sorry.
cringe.
I'm just yeah.
Cringe Coffee Bot.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's especially cringe since there's no, like, chat. Like, there's no one in there chatting, so it is just 4 posts in a row of the link to my Ko-fi. And it's just like, I'm sorry, that looks so pathetic. it's just sad. Because I forgot that I even set that up at all, because I just connected Ko-fi to my Twitch account, and I didn't even think about that it would be like a bot, right? Because I didn't mess with any settings on that. I was just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll connect it to this. That's a cool thing I can do. And it's just like, cool, we'll post every half hour in your very empty chat. Loser. Fucking idiot. Fucking loser. Like, fucking Streamlabs is like, hey, look, here's some opportunities for sponsorships. And like, my guy, that's not happening. That's not happening, my guy. You're connected to my Twitch account. You can see that I don't have like a lot of like followers or people active in my stream. The most active I got are like your bot, which says I've started a stream, which seems redundant. And then the Ko-fi bot saying, go give me money, people who aren't talking here anyway. And this isn't me trying to be like, oh, look at me, I'm so sad, I don't have any like followers on Twitch or whatever. Like, I would do this anyway. I like doing this. I don't really like, it would be nice if I got more people in chat and talking and whatever. Like, it's not like I don't want an audience at all, but like, streaming isn't my main thing, you know? So, it is just extremely pathetic looking, which is endlessly funny. Just a Homestuck stream with, I don't know, it feels like an internet meme, you know? Anyway, I don't mean to harp on about that. It just feels incredibly funny to me. But
No, it is.
Boulder's route is getting into some more existential stuff around the whole game that has been hinted at a few times already, but this is much more of a direct, like, directly pointing it out, and not just like, if you go and play it again, you're like, oh shit, I see what's happening here. This is like starting to tell you what's happening here in a very Boulder mysterious way. It's also one of the few routes, I feel like, where the same thing happens in both the good and the bad timeline. I could be wrong about that, but like Boulder getting poisoned in both
Yeah.
routes. I don't feel like that really happens in other routes unless I'm misremembering.
I did notice that. I was thinking that earlier.
Yeah. So that's neat. Um, especially since there was like a lot of discussions about fate. Which that is one thing, not to go off on a tangent about Scarlet Hollow necessarily, but just like the concept of fate. And in Scarlet Hollow, one of you pick traits at the beginning. You pick 2 of them, and it's like uh, street smarts, where you can like lie and make people like you, and you just legitimately
lie
talk
to make people like you.
Yeah, there's one where you could just like legitimately actually for real talk to animals. There's one where you're basically psychic, like you get like these foreboding like feelings and visions and stuff. You're just like tuned in to ethereal shit. And then there's more normal ones like you strong,
Yeah.
and you're book smart and shit like that. And so I chose like book smart and whatever the like psychic type one is called. But it does have this thing where like you know what's gonna happen, and it's like it's no use going against it. You've seen it, and it always comes true. And I hate that. I hate that theory of fate. And I do like that, you know, Imspar asked if that's what it was, and Boldir was like, I mean, not really, but also Boldir doesn't really give straight answers to anything. Anyway, I just want to point that out because you know, this isn't shitting on Scarlet Hollow, like, or anyone who has a different idea of like fate. And I'm not even talking about like real fate, but just like any work of fiction that discusses fate. I just hate when they're like, this will happen no matter what, unless it's, I don't know, it can be used well. I'm just going off on a tangent now. And then Stealth is great. I love Stelza. I would have to read her stuff so many times to be able to do it without punctuation.
Yeah.
Do it well without punctuation. It's hard. But she is the most not actually a minor coded. Like she is adult coded more than almost any of the other ones except for Chahat, which is explicitly I'm basically an adult now and I'm leaving soon. So far. But the others you can way more easily see them as teens or younger. So far. But yeah, Rainy, you have any thoughts? I know I focus on Moosie because this is centered around Moosie. Moosie's the center of the Moose Duckverse.
Moosie is the pedestal holder.
Surprise, I don't actually exist.
I thought that was very fun. I enjoyed the Boldir and Stelza.
Yeah.
Yes. I think,
honestly, I can't word. I'm sorry. My brain just went like, and it's like, yes, I enjoyed. Much fun.
Much fun.
Very wow.
Yeah. I do think that, like, we just have a lot of bangers coming up. There's, like, 1 or 2 of these that I'm not quite as excited about, but, like, in general, like, I'm really into the ones that are coming up for a variety of reasons. So...
And
exciting.
I'll be interested to see where it goes.
Yes. We'll finish it in what's the timeline? Like another few months. One day. We'll finish it one day. We'll finish it before we finish Homestuck. Not even talking about all the post-canon stuff. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you too for coming on, and also thank Dami for coming on.
Of course.
Thank
Dami's
you,
not
Dami.
here anymore. Thank you, Ardata. Thank you, Clownos Ardata. But yes, we will see you in 2 weeks, barring anything crazy happening. I mean, that's always the asterisk on any plans is like, this is gonna happen unless other shit happens. That's life. That's how life goes.
Yeah.
Life be going.
Yeah, and check out Live Laugh Stuck, especially now that we're back in Homestuck. So it's not just ranking class specs several episodes in a row. Just I did tier lists way more in a row than I intended to do. It was supposed to be just fun fillers, and then it just kept happening, and it's gonna keep happening probably. So
lists are fun.
If you
Lists
like,
can be very fun.
yeah, they're great. I love them. If you do like tier lists and you have things you want me to put on tier lists, or especially if you have anyone that you want me to do tier lists with, preferably people I've already had on, and not just like randos. Like I used to be way more into getting randos on back when I was much more involved in the community and I was like more aware of. Well, so I guess they weren't as much randos, but now randos are scary. They're scary. I'm so sorry. But yeah.
Randos
Let me
are
know.
scary.
Yeah.
I'm scared of humans.
Correct. As we all should.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. I will see you all again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.